Hello friends, in today's video, we will quickly go through various human rights violations that are happening in India. There are plenty of human rights violations happening every day. We will quickly go through some major human rights violations, some common type of human rights violation that happens frequently. So the first one that I would like to mention is religious violence. You know, since independence, the India has been facing plenty of communal conflicts and other incidents of violence related to religion. Even recently, we witnessed Delhi riots based on religion. People were killing each other based on religion. So such kinds of incidents actually are a threat to the prevalence of human rights in India. The attack on minorities, Dalits, etc. are also happening across the country, and all these poses a great threat to the maintenance of human rights in our country. Now, the second point that I would like to mention is the attacks against Dalits, tribal groups, and other caste related issues. We know before independence, we had groups called untouchables, Dalits, etc., who were facing utmost violation of their human rights. But after independence, we tried to reduce this practice. We tried to bring some normalcy into our country. But even now, caste system is in prevalence, and discrimination based on caste is a common thing that is happening in our country. Even now, untouchability is practiced, the caste system is followed, and oppression against the backward classes and violence against them is happening in plenty of incidents in India. For example, maybe you might have heard about some news about lynching of people by the mob for various reasons. In all those situations, the caste was one of the main theme behind these attacks. Now coming to the next issue, issues against women are a common thing in India. Many of the news that we see in the newspaper related to human rights violations has got some relation with women. In India, numerous issues still exist in all areas of life, ranging from cultural, political to the economic. So it is not just rape and other violence. Even in the day-to-day affairs, women face plenty of discrimination. For example, pay discrimination. Even when men and women do the same job, women are paid less. Gender inequalities faced by women in almost every sphere. In the work, in their life, throughout their life, they are facing some kind of inequality. Then rape and other violence are a common occurrence. The right to life is violated in all those kinds of incidents. Then victim blaming. So even after the rape, the victim is blamed for their behavior. And marginalization of women and dowry, other malpractices, all these forms of violations against human rights are happening in the case of women. So this is a very large area, plenty of issues under this topic. The issues against women are happening in our country. Now, freedom of expression, the threat against the freedom of expression is another area. Even when we have the freedom of expression under Article 19 of Indian Constitution, this right is often violated by using various laws. So with even the Article 19 has some reasonable restrictions that the government can make, and often the government make the laws of sedition, defamation or counter-terrorism and bring many other limitation to the freedom of expression. And in one of the studies by the Reporters Without Borders, in their Press Freedom Index, India is ranking 140 in the world ranking, and that is a very low rank, and that indicates that the freedom of expression for the press is very low. And even for the common people, sometimes the freedom of expression is very low when compared to other countries. Then another major area is the issues in the Jammu and Kashmir and the northeastern India. We know these are the sensitive regions in India. Plenty of insurgencies are happening in this region, in Jammu and Kashmir and in the northeastern India, due to various reasons, due to various political and geographical kind of reasons. But in these regions, some laws are in existence, some security laws are in existence, like the AFSPA Act, AFSPA Act, Armed Forces Special Powers Act. And under the shadow of this act, plenty of human rights violations are happening. The AFSPA Act is criticized by Human Rights Watch as a tool of state abuse, oppression and discrimination. And sometimes extrajudicial executions, that means the killing of people outside the judiciary, and disappearances, torture, etc. are happening in these places, in Jammu and Kashmir as well as in northeastern India. Sometimes the military is involved in these human rights violations. Maybe you know about Irom Sharmila from the northeast. Irom Sharmila actually fasted for many years as a protest against this act, AFSPA Act. But this act is actually required in those areas because military needs some powers in order to maintain peace and security of our country. But under the shadow of this act, sometimes plenty of human rights violations are also happening. So because this act gives some umbrella right to the military to shoot, to kill a person, and sometimes sometimes no inquiry is made into killing of a person by the military, and the military can often destroy property for insurgency, counter-insurgency operations. And so under this act, property and life are often destroyed by the military and no action is often taken by the authority. So all these kinds of issues exist in Jammu and Kashmir and northeastern India. So especially in the last year, when the Jammu and Kashmir state was divided into 2 union territories, for those 3 or 4 months, the situation in the Jammu and Kashmir was very severe. Emergency was declared in that state and communication system was completely dismantled, and all the freedoms of equality, all the freedoms and the liberties that we have under the constitution was removed for a very long duration. And you can imagine the plight of those people. In this lockdown period itself, we are facing this much amount of suffocation and lack of freedom. And when the government itself is forcing on the people some kind of lockdown due to various political reasons, that kind of situation is very difficult to handle. So that is the issue related to Jammu and Kashmir and northeastern India. This is a very grey area. We cannot decide what to do or what should be the act of the government, because everything is interconnected. Sometimes these acts are required to maintain peace and security, and with that also comes some kind of human rights violations too. Now the next thing that I would like to mention is the human rights abuses related to criminal justice system in India. And under the criminal justice system, I would like to mention three parts, which first one is court, the second one is the police, and the third one is the prison. So first let us quickly go through courts. In India, the courts are severely plagued by pending cases. More than 1 million cases are pending before various courts in the country. And justice delayed is justice denied. So delayed justice delivery is a common thing in India. You may know about it, that if we file a case in the court, we may not get the justice delivery at the right time. And due to this, most of India's prison population are detainees awaiting trial. So sometimes you have to be in prison awaiting your trial, and sometimes after the trial you might be proclaimed innocent. Even then you faced all those harassment and prison life just because the court system was not up to time. So some of the notorious cases related to this instance are Bhopal gas tragedy. The case lagged for around 35 years and the justice was denied for the victims for a long time. And another notorious case is the Arushi murder case. You might know about it because the parents itself were arrested for the death of their daughter Arushi. They claimed that the parents killed the daughter, but after 10 years of their prison life, they were declared innocent. They were declared as not guilty. And what is the use of that? Their whole life was destroyed just because of this delayed justice delivery. 10 years they served their life in prison. So these are some instances where the court made a delayed justice delivery and hence denied the justice. Now another important aspect of this criminal justice system is police. We know encounter deaths and rapes are common in police custody. Custodial torture and violence are also routines in the prison. So even recently we have one or two news related to this. A very sad news is from Tamil Nadu. So in Tamil Nadu, 2 persons were arrested for a petty case for not wearing mask. And the next thing that we hear about is that they were dead in the custody. So custodial torture is a common happening in India, and false encounters in the case of the as happened in the Uttar Pradesh, all those cases are common in India. So all these actually poses a threat to proper maintenance of human rights violations in India. So the police system is not completely foolproof, and plenty of human rights violation is happening under various heads. Different news are coming up in the newspaper every day or every week, which actually highlights the different human rights violations happening in the police department in various states in India. So the next head under the criminal justice system is prison. In prison, overcrowding is a common problem. If 100 persons can live in a prison, most of Indian prison will accommodate 115 persons. Then around 65% of the total number of prisoners is pre-trial detainees. What is pre-trial detainees? I have already mentioned that. That means they are under trial. They are not completely proclaimed as guilty. They are just waiting for their trial in the prison. Sometimes, as in the Arushi murder case, they may be proclaimed not guilty or innocent. But what is the use of that? So 2 out of 3 persons in the prison are actually pre-trial detainees or waiting for their trial. And the court and the prison system are actually violating their human right. And apart from these, denial of human rights, favoritism, corruption, etc. are very common in prisons. So all these pose a great threat to the maintenance of human rights in India. So under the criminal justice system, we actually dealt with 3 heads: the court, the police, and finally the prison. So everywhere some kinds of injustice and some kinds of violence related to human rights are happening. Then I would also like to mention some other very common problems in India. This might be some of the common problems faced by every Indian citizen. So they are, first one is economic inequality. So in India, the growth rate until the COVID-19 lockdown was 7 to 8%. The GDP was growing at that rate. That means the economy is booming at a very large rate. And even then, the poverty declined only by 1%. And that means a great economic inequality exists in India. So where does this economic growth goes? Maybe all the growth is concentrating on certain pockets and the economic inequality is growing very largely, making a very large community marginalized and poor. Then the next point is food insecurity. So in our country, the inefficiency and discrimination in distribution often impede the right to have adequate food. Then farmer suicides is a common thing. Maybe now newspapers aren't even reporting those farmer suicides because it has become that much common. So the government might not take enough steps and measures to protect farmers from committing suicides, and their right to live, right to have a right to work, all those rights are violated by the government and by the society. Then denial of right to health and to life is also happening. For example, in our country, the health infrastructure is not up to date or is not very proper and is substandard and inadequate. So the right to health of a person is not actually met by the health infrastructure that the country provides. So the denial of right to health is happening to every citizen who wishes to visit a government hospital. Then denial to right to clean water and sanitation. If the clean water is not available in plenty of places, water is a is a treasure hard to find, and proper sanitation facilities are not also provided in many places. So these rights are the common basic rights to have clean water and to have proper sanitation are often violated due to inadequate availability of facilities. Now the working conditions and living standards of the labor force is very poor. In India, 90% of the workers belongs to the informal sector, the unorganized sector. That means the common people, the farmers, the construction workers, all those people who does not come under the government security schemes. Not government security schemes, does not come under the proper, the white collar jobs. And for them, the work condition is often inhuman and their minimum wages is not often met. And they do not come under many of the progressive labor laws and their working condition is very poor in many places. Even recently we saw about the plight of migrant workers in India. Even they had to walk for many kilometers to reach their home, and that just indicates their living condition and their living standard in many places. So they were the most affected when the COVID-19 hit, and their condition continues to be very poor. And finally, right to education, even though it is a fundamental right, is not often met because schools are not available in every place and schools are of not adequate standard, and all this makes right to education a distant dream. So these are some other common violations of fundamental rights happening every day in every place. So these are many of the human right violations that we saw today. I hope you got a very broad understanding about the human right violations happening particularly in our country. So you can go and search newspapers and other sources to find various human right violations happening in our country. Thank you.